All right, guys, so right now, as you can see, I just really took the initiative to just really try to do my own tune. Some of the key elements in the tune, and it's so much to the tune that I really don't want to get you lost. But for those of you who are utilizing the Maestro Audi 7, I'm going to kind of give you just like a quick streamline of how you tune and how you really get your car where it needs to be. So I'm doing a couple of tests right now on my vehicle. Start from the top. Your target torque filing. Let's just say I just flashed my car with a base file, right? And with that base file, I'm going to do runs on my car. And from me doing my runs on my car, I'm going to look at the files to see where my boost is, where I'm losing boost, where I'm losing fuel. And I come up with a calculation where I feel like I need torque, if I have too much torque on the shifts, if I don't have enough torque. Like, for example, if you ever tuned with APR, they do a smooth transition and they kind of drop down the torque on the shift so it can be a smooth shift. Whereas a Revo would have a more aggressive shift because they have a lot of torque. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. So when you come right here to torque, let's just start from the top. Torque filing. So this is going to be my RPMs from 600 all the way up to 6,000 RPMs. And if you look right over here, this is going to kind of be my entire RPM range, right? So it's going to show what I'm going to start off with and what I'm going to end with. So hypothetically, if I made this number right here, 5,000, right here on the graph, that's going to go at 5,000. So let me give you a test of what I'm talking about. So if I'm at 600 RPMs and if I make this, let me just go ahead and copy this. As you can see, it pretty much put that right at the top. So you see right here, this is just showing my torque. Of course, I don't want it to be that way, so I'm going to put it back at 1252 where it was. If I put it back, then you guys can kind of see, pretty much what I'm talking about. So this is going to be my torque, right? So under torque is going to be your optimum engine torque. So in this scenario, if I wanted to just kind of focus on, let's say if I look at my timing and my fueling, and at this specific area, my car is just lean or too rich and it's not going right, I will go to right click and go to math functions, and that's where I can just add a percentage or just put a specific number in on each individual one I pick, or sections at a time. I can multiply, I can set it, I can subtract the percentage, or I can just smooth out the data. Smoothing out the data pretty much puts it in a position where it'll just make everything a smoother linear graph for you in case you do some math wrong, right? So the next thing that I did, and I think I showed you guys on the previous video, is you want to go to fueling, right? So fueling is going to be right here where it says power enrichment. That's just one of the fuel elements. And so if you look right here, you have your base, which is 1001, and then you have these lower numbers right here. So the lower it is, the richer it is, right? So the lower, the richer. So this just means, as you can see, this is going to be 1200 RPM all the way up to 6400 RPM. This just means at this specific time when I'm tuning my vehicle, or, when my car is running, this is going to be the rich points, and this is going to pretty much be open throttle, and this is going to be idle. So if I wanted to get more fuel in, I essentially could just make this lower, which hence this section would be the rich area. So if I wanted to just shoot out tons of gas, then I'm going to go ahead and just make it all rich. But of course, you don't want to put too much fuel. And then at the same time, you don't want to lean out your vehicle. So in situations like this, if you have a bigger turbo, you might want to probably put out more gas. And of course, this is just me just kind of giving you guys the idea, right? And so if we come right over here, we're going to go to flow meter, and flow meter is going to be pretty much your math, the error that's in your intake manifold. And this is going to be boost control. And boost control is pretty much going to be your wastegate, as you can see. Now, if I wanted to kind of really focus on boost, so this is going to be boost duty. So right now, the boost duty is to the top, and I'm doing just basically a test on that. So essentially you can get more boost by, I'm trying to get this to focus. You can get more boost by raising up your boost duty or adding more fuel or your timing. So essentially, if you look at the graph, everything is maxed out, but I'm just doing a few tests on my boosting right now. So this is how you get that boost to your vehicle, right? And look, I'm not an expert. I'm learning as we go. So I'm just kind of showing you guys this. There's a couple of tuners out there that a lot of people recommended. But unfortunately, a lot of these tuners, they're just not easy or accessible. And I had one tuner that tuned a lot of Audi vehicles that didn't want to tune me. So I'm not sure if they don't believe in the project or what's going on. But, you know, I know this specific tuner, he didn't feel that there were any Audi tuners out. So he decided to take the matters into his own hands. So I guess essentially that's what I'm doing. You know, if you can't get that support, then create your support, right? So that's why I'm doing this for you guys, so you guys can kind of self-drive yourself and learn how to do this and help yourselves and not be entrapped to a few people who don't want to help support the community. So going back to this right here, this is going to be, let's see, your timing, of course. So believe it or not, right here, this is my rev limiter. And this is what essentially what my car is going to rev to on each gear, right? So if I want so this is my rev limiter. This is what my car is going to rev to on each gear. So if I want to raise my rev, so let's say if you got a bigger turbo to, let's just say 8,000 RPMs, this essentially will give me that higher rev in my vehicle to where I can capitalize on a bigger turbo. But if you're dealing with a smaller turbo, you can spool up really fast, so you really don't need to go over the top with your revs. And this is going to be my rev limiter 2, and this is just showing you my rev limiter 3, rev limiter 4. And so down here is going to be launch control, and this is essentially going to show me where I would like when I'm at idle and I want to rev my car, and where I want to launch from. If I put this is 7,000 RPM. So if I put, I'm trying to get this to focus. So if I put, let's just say, if I put 2,000 RPMs on here. So if I put 2,000 RPMs on here, that's going to be 2,000, 3,000. You get the drift. And if I come right over here, let's see. This is going to be enabling my launch control. So this is if I want to launch off the line and I want to just kind of utilize a launch control. This is just my idle speed of where my car is sitting at idle, if I wanted to go higher or lower, you know. And I definitely would recommend smoothing this out like I showed you guys before. And this is going to be, of course, your map sensor. Offset, just where you have your map sensor at, another and with your map sensor. So essentially what you're going to do is get logs, and your logs will pretty much give you a detailed picture of where you're lean and where you have too much fuel, not enough boost. So essentially, if I looked at my idle speed and I was running real tough, then I would lower my idle speed. Let's say if I was looking at my car on a data log, and let's say, for example, my car was losing power or going lean on my air fuel ratio at, let's say, 6,000 RPMs, and that's where I would go and I would adjust where I showed you guys previously. That's where I would adjust the actual fuel to where I can get more fuel so I wouldn't run lean. So you're essentially are looking for the best variant. So tuning and dynoing just basically puts you in a position to where you can know the variance and you can find that happy medium. So you're gonna look at each specific area. Like if I'm trying to do a pull and it's going like this, it's kind of zigzagging. Essentially what I'm going to do is making sure instead of zigzagging that it goes this way. That's all I'm doing. Just like if you look right here, you know, that's essentially what it is. Okay, do we need this curve here on idle? Do I need to make it straight? Do I need to smooth out my idle? So that's essentially what tuning is. And of course, once we go more into depth, you can look at your injection, your timing on your injection. You can look at the injector constant, the fuel rail pressure. So those are going to be some things that you're going to do when it's time to tune your vehicle. So right now, I actually put a tune on my car that I created. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to rip a couple of runs just to see how it does. But I just really wanted to share this with you guys as you guys are going through this journey as well. Hopefully one day I'll be in a position to where I can help others. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to tune my car myself, because if I need something done, I need to know what's going on. So, however, I did get a big hand from LP Tuning, just really just kind of engaging with me, helping me with my base map. And, you know, I'm just really at his discretion as far as the time and the speed, you know, of getting results to me. But yeah, this is what we're looking like, guys, if you want to tune your vehicle. So like and subscribe, and you can just follow this journey with me, and I'll take you guys through the role as well as me. Oh, also I want to show you guys right here. So this is another important screen right here. So if you come down to where it says fault codes, and you click on fault codes, right? So where it has fault codes at, let's say for example, you have, let's say for example, you have your camshaft position sensor and you're getting a code on that. If you put it at 0, you can just put the numbers where you want. It won't show a code. And the higher the number, the more that the code is going to be on demand. So you can essentially, as you're deleting stuff like intake manifolds, or, you know, if you're deleting certain things, evap systems, you can just do this to where you won't get the crazy code on your car, and you can just run and not have to keep resetting it or look at the ugly, you know, check engine light or look at some Christmas trees. So yeah, guys, just want to kind of show you this. You know, like for example, I have the intake manifold from IE. So if you look over here on, let's see if I can find it. If you look right here on like my math right here, my mass airflow, as you can see, I got everything 0 on my mass airflow, because I don't want to get a code on that, because I'm boosting a lot more with the bigger turbo, or I'd rather get more air in. And if you go to the intake manifold, it's the same thing as well as my code starts. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to give you guys some runs. There you go with the intake manifold. As you can see, intake manifold runner, deleted that. Yeah, so I'm going to do some runs, guys. Stay with me. We're going to get this car tuned up. Then we're going to get a dyno. Thanks for watching. It's Bruce with Bruce Custom Motors. Peace and out. So bear with me. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Just try this tune up. Guys, kind of want you guys to focus on the gear ratio right now. So right now I'm just kind of giving it a couple of test runs just to see how it's doing, how it's holding up. Alright guys, just waiting for the traffic to go by, then we're gonna be good to go. Everything looks to be good so far. Vacuum air fuel ratio is at 14.7, which is what I'm looking for. My vacuum is around 26. RPMs, all right, let's go. All right, let's see what we got right here. All right, just wanted to see how it felt. So I'm gonna go around and see if I can like go in a little bit more. Use the gear shift, see what I can come up with, see if I can see what pull I can come up with, what numbers I can come up with. That's just going to be just a little modest pull. Put it over there. All right. Here we go, guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my pull now. All right, let's see. So I'm just going to show you just how it, so you can kind of, I guess, see just the visual aspect, but I'm also going to show you internally how it looks as well. All right. is showing 514. All right, guys. So the other piece of just running my car and just kind of, you know, putting it to the test and then getting those runs, this is the other element that I wanted to show you, which will show you how to tune. So this is going to be really, really big. So you're going to go to log viewer. Every software has their own log viewer, i.e. HP tuners, but this is just the one that we're looking at for your dime. So basically you're going to go to file, you're going to load your last file. So this is my most recent file. This is to show you all the logs I've been doing and all the research I've been doing. I'm not just doing these videos to say, hey, this is what I can do. I've invested the time and the money into this project. So I'm really, really doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that some people may not know about, that may pass prejudgment. But as you can see, these are pretty much how many consistent logs that I've been running in all of the tests. But I don't want to bore you guys with a 3-hour-long video. But as you can see, this is all of the legwork I've been doing to try to get an efficient tune. So if you go to my latest log right here, once you click it, the log is going to have, basically, you're going to have the option to play it, but it's going to be all of these other variables and the things that they're going to be grading, right? So you got your engine speed, you got your intake air mass, you got your throttle position, your timing, your boost duty. So this is going to just basically show you everything that you're going to be working with, right? So let's say if I wanted to just look at torque, because I've been trying to get my torque to a modest, I would say 430. I think that's what our transmissions can handle on our platform. So I don't want to exceed 430 torque right now. So if I go to clear sections, I'm just going to come to select variable. Let me see if I can make that clear. And so once I select the variable, I'm going to come to, let's see, excuse me. I'm going to come to where I see engine torque. Right here, there's going to be my engine torque. What else do I want? I want to get engine speed. And those are going to, let's say this is boost duty, right? So once I pick those, all I do is I come over here, I pick them now, and I press play. So when I press play, it's going to pretty much play my run. Now, if you come over here and you look at my engine torque, you're going to kind of see right above where it says torque limit, where my torque goes is showing my boost duty, different variables right here. So you're going to see on this actual map that you're going to see on this actual log that I did, I'm going to actually hit about 390 torque. I'm going to fast forward it so you guys can see it, because I don't want you guys sitting here all day. But as you can see, this is the variables that I go through to know what my car is doing, the engine load, the speed, the torque, and then I will take this and I will take it to the calculation board. Like for example, if my timing goes negative and it's pulling timing, that's how I know I need to adjust my timing, right? If my engine load or my engine speed, let's say at a specific RPM is too lean, that's when I make it rich, right? If my charge pipe is not, going correctly, that's when I can adjust my airflow and my flow meter. So this gives you a general calculation. And as you can see, based on my engine speed, my torque is kind of going up and down and up and down. And right now I'm doing just driving. So you're going to see it kind of ramp from here to there to here to there as far as like my engine torque and different variables. But I'm going to show you one more thing. Alrighty guys, I pretty much hit about 400 torque on this specific pull, but I don't want to take you guys through this long process and waste time. But as you can see, this is my torque, and I went to show port values when hovering. And as you can see on this specific one, this is my engine speed right here, and then this is going to be the RPM, the 6,000 RPM. And if you look down here, this is going to show 371 torque right there just from my run. I end up hitting 400, but like I said, you just pretty much play it. And when you play it right over here, depending on what run you make, as you can see, let's see if we can get a jump on the torque on the next run. And this is how you can just kind of gauge it. Of course, you're not going to see those high numbers until I'm doing the pull, and I'm just doing casual driving. As you can see how that's jumping up. See what I'm saying? See how that's jumping up right there? That's just showing you the engine torque. So, and this works for every other aspect of the engine as well. So just want to kind of show you guys that.